Alright, so welcome back everybody. So for this video, I'm going to be talking about the hooved strategy for Forced Shuffle Dartmoor. Now I want to state that in this game, the hooved strategy is the weakest link. It is the weakest strategy in the game. But that doesn't mean you can't be working on this as well as other strategies, right? It's probably almost on par with the reptile amphibian strategy, actually. Those two are probably the weakest strategies. Oh, and the bat strategy. Those three strategies are potentially the weakest strategies in this game. So if you're working on this one or the other two, it's a good idea to be working on one of the other ones as well. So let's talk about, first of all, this moor here. So it's called Rose Pasture, okay? And so if you satisfy its binocular ability when you play it, you get to draw a card, which is an okay thing, but it's not like, you know, it's not something that you need to actually do. That's because it's not super powerful, because you're only getting to draw one card and you still have to discard 2 cards. But what's good is it's going to give you 2 points for every hooved animal you have. But here's the problem. This game only has 3 hooved animals. Okay, these are the only 3 hooved animals in the game. So if you had one of each, that pasture is only going to give you 6 points. Sure, true, you could have multiples of these, but most likely, you know, not a whole lot. Now, the deer is still pretty strong because it gives you 3 points based on which leaf it is, and if you're acquiring lots of leaves on cards, that could be possible. You could still score pretty highly. But considering it only gives you 1 card if you satisfy its bonus ability, and this is the only deer in the game, meaning there isn't the deer that lets you play another deer for free if you satisfied its binocular ability. That's not in this one. And then of course, there's not a deer that's scoring on, you know, the amount of hooved animals you have. Of course, this Dartmoor sheep does additional scoring for every hooved animal you have. It does score you 2 points, but once again, it's a hard one to play because it costs 2. It's only going to let you draw a card, and once again, you're only getting 2 points for every hooved animal you have. Not super powerful, right? The horse, though, the horse is actually pretty good because it lets you turn a card into a moor if you satisfy its binocular ability, and then it's worth 5 points just having it. But if you have more moors than any other forest that you're playing against, any other player you're playing against, you have more moors than them, you get 15 points. There was a card that scored you 10 if you had the most moors. This one is scoring you 15, so that's slightly better for sure. So that one's pretty good. I like that one. That's a good one to have potentially if you think you're going to have more moors, and it's going to help you play more moors too, so that's good. But yes, there's no wolf in this game. There's no wolf that's scoring you points for all the deer you have and letting you draw extra cards for deer. There's none of that going on. So like I said, this is a weak little strategy, and so a very short video. And so because it's a short video, we are going to just kind of go over the cards that we have not gone over for the game, the trees and the moors that we haven't talked about. So the moor birch here is basically just like the original birch. It let you draw a card when you played it, and it's only worth a point, okay? The ash tree, okay, it is going to score you points for the amount of plants you have. So actually this is a good one. If you're going the plant strategy, this is a good tree to go. And it's also going to score you additional points for that particular type of leaf as well. So that's nice. And it lets you draw a card for playing it, but if you manage to satisfy its binoculars at the same time, you get to draw a card, and then you also get to draw a card from the clearing. So that's a pretty good tree. The black alder tree is going to give you an additional turn if you satisfy its binocular bonus, and it's worth 5 points. The goat willow tree, it is going to let you play a moor from your hand. Let you turn a card you have into a moor from your hand if you satisfy its binocular bonus, and it's worth points for every moor you have, 1 each. Those are all of the different trees that we haven't gone over. We did talk about the crab tree in detail in the bird video. And then there are 3 other moors in this game you might play. So the fountainhead, it lets you draw a card whenever you play a moor. So if you play a moor if you play a card as a moor, that's still a moor. And so you'll still get to draw that card even if you're playing like with this goat willow tree. If you get to play a card as a moor, okay, well that still works with this if you played this earlier. So you're still going to get to draw a card if you activate the goat willow bonus. So that's cool. So that's nice. And then the other two, this one is the rivulet. This moor is just going to score you 2 points for every one of these leaves you have. So it already gives you 2 points, but the goat willow is obviously going to match that leaf. That's what that means. But there's other cards that could have that leaf on it too. So just another way of scoring points. And then the last moor that we didn't talk about is the wet woodland. And this just scores you 2 points for every moor you have, including the moors that are just this, because this is a moor as well. But yeah, that's everything you need to know about Forest Shuffle with the exception of the bat strategy. Only one strategy remains.